Hello friends, welcome back to Sizzle Kitchen. Here we have a new sweet recipe, that's kalakand. Before the Diwali, we just have one day left for the Diwali, that's Sunday. And if some of my friends are still looking for to make some sweet recipe, here it is. It's very easy. You can put this up in just 30 minutes and with very few ingredients. And let's see how we make it today. These are really yummy and delectable actually. So here goes the recipe. So for this we will need the main ingredients for this are like the ricotta cheese, and this is the substitute for paneer. If you don't have ricotta cheese, if you're in a place where you don't get ricotta cheese, you can use paneer for that. And here is condensed milk, and do use a good quality condensed milk with the whole milk one, the thick one. And 3 pots of cardamom, and I just want to I just want to crush them using this, and it didn't work for me, so I'm going to make like how I do usually for my sweets. I'll just add those cardamoms with just couple of tablespoons of sugar, because I'm going to use the condensed milk, which is really sweetened, so I don't want it to get much more sweeter. And so that's just 2 tablespoons of sugar. I'm just going to grind it and get that elaichi like a real nice powder. I don't want them to come in the mouth when we eat the sweets. So I'm going to just strain it with the help of the strainer and just get all the elaichi pods out of the powdered sugar. So that's what I'm going to do. I just use the tea strainer to just take off all the elaichi pods from the powdered sugar. So otherwise the pods will go in the mouth and it gives a weird taste to it. And here it is. Now I have kept the pan in the stove. So now here to the pan, I'm adding the ricotta cheese that I have. This is a standard size container that we get in the grocery stores. That's 15 fluid ounces, I believe, if I'm right. And I think that's what it is. It's a standard size. And same with the condensed milk. This is also the standard size. That's 14 fluid ounces. This is good for if you're having like 3 families for dinner. This will do for the dessert, actually, this quantity. So here let's add everything together and mix them well. So let's add all the condensed milk and the ricotta cheeses in the pan. So there it is. Yeah, I've taken out everything. And let's give it a nice mix. Let the stove be on the lower side of the flame or medium. Do not put the stove in high flame. It'll burn. The bottom will stick together. So that if you put it in the low flame, that's nice, and that comes out really good when it's in the medium flame. And we don't have to be scared of getting it burnt. But this is not a time-consuming thing. But for the continuous 20 minutes, you have to be stirring it. I mean, don't leave it as it is. It's the main thing is just adding these together and just mixing them well in the fire. So they get that consistency, the thick consistency of kalakand, and then we can just cut them. So here it is. So it will get into the liquid form as they melt, the condensed milk and ricotta cheese. When we put it on the pan and the fire, it gets liquidy. And this is a very easy method of making kalakand. Back in India, I think they boil the milk and they reduce it, I think. So that is why we are using condensed milk here. And instead of paneer, we are using ricotta cheese. If you want to use the paneer, that's still fine. The texture comes out really well in paneer. And for the condensed milk, I think this is the easiest thing. Then reducing the milk and adding sugar and making it together, it takes lots of time. This reduces the time. As I said, it just takes 20 minutes, less than half an hour to put this up for the dessert. And so here it is. Slowly it will thicken up. See, it was watery and now it's like that. We have to get it to a dough-like consistency. So keep stirring, as I mentioned. Keep stirring. Don't let it stick to the bottom. So this is the powdered the sugar and the elaichi that we had. I'm just going to add that. Do not use too much of sugar if you are going to grind the elaichi and sugar together. Just use a pinch, so that why I added sugar was that way the elaichi will get blended nicely in the blender. Otherwise they won't. They'll be as pieces. I mean, because I'm just going to add 3 pots, right? So here I kept mixing it. So you can see the sides, it's sticking to the sides. Just get them to the pan slowly, like otherwise those will get spoiled. I mean, it'll get burnt slowly. So just keep mixing them together. So for this kalakan, this is the only thing that we would do. Like, I mean, the mixing time, putting them in the fire and mixing. We can even make this in microwave, but I like making it in the stove. And this can be stored in the refrigerator for up to 5 days. This is milk-based sweet, and as we all know, we don't add any preservatives, and so we can store in the refrigerator for the maximum of 5 days. So here it's thickening. It started to thicken up. It has to form like a dough-like consistency, a little thicker. It exactly takes 20 minutes, if I have to say. After the thing melts, the cheese and the ricotta cheese and the condensed milk melts, it takes about 20-22 minutes. And here I'm adding 1/2 tablespoon of ghee to that. You can omit it, but it will give that it won't stick to the pan if you add this, and also it will give a nice texture to that. It's just 1/2 tablespoon. So just add that 1/2 tablespoon of ghee, and it will absorb in a little bit if the ghee is all absorbed. And the mixture is thickening slowly. So as I mentioned, it will take about 20 to 25 minutes to get for this amount of, if you use the exact amount of ricotta cheese and the condensed milk, it might take 25 minutes for you to stir it and get that thick consistency. Till then you have to be stirring. That's about it. And so now I took a cake pan, a rectangular cake pan, and I used the wax paper on that, and I would like to smear some ghee on the paper. So this is thickening. If you want, we can add a little bit of milk powder. If you have it in hand, you can add a little bit of milk powder. That will make the process still faster. Maybe you can use about 3 tablespoons of milk powder for this quantity. And here is the pan where I'm greasing with the ghee, the wax paper and the ghee. So once this is done, we can pour it in that, and we can make into desired shape. So take out the sides and keep stirring. And now I took a half of the portion. I mean, I want to make it this way. So I'm like equally make them into 2 equal halves, because I want to make it into two layers actually. So I took half of it in the bowl, and I added this rose essence to that half portion. And I mixed it well. So this is the rose essence. It has the rose flavor to that. I mean, it is optional. If you want to do, you can do, or you can just have one single layer of kalakand, or you can even use, instead of the pink rose color, you can also use the chocolate essence or the chocolate powder and mix it, and then we can layer into 2 layers also. So this gives an excellent flavor to the kalakand, the rose essence. So give it a nice mix, and now let's pour it into the greased pan. And also this kalakand cannot be served immediately. It needs a resting time of at least 3 to 4 hours in the refrigerator before we serve it. This is still hot, so it is little, you feel like it's little watery. You have to make it thick, so it's like it forms a dough-like consistency. Mine was little on the softer side this time. So this is the first layer with the rose, and now I'm adding the regular kalakand mixture that I have in the pan on top of the rose flavored kalakand. So here goes the regular mixture of kalakand. So just smoothen it out with a knife, with a butter knife, so that it spreads evenly. So this kalakand is yummy when it's served cold. I mean, from the refrigerator. That's how I like it. So this is smoothened well. And now to this, I'm going to top it with the pistachios that I have. You can use any kind of nut, but I think traditionally they use pistachios on this, I believe. So I have always had kalakand with pistachios. If you don't have it, you can always alternate with almonds or nuts of your choice, or you can just omit it. If you want to have it nut free, you can just omit it altogether. And there it is, just push it a little bit inside so it just sticks to the sweet. So there it is. Just fill all the empty spaces with the nuts. And let's cover it and leave it in the refrigerator. I made it in the night. I'm going to leave it overnight. This was very late in the night. So I'm going to leave it in the refrigerator overnight. So the next morning, I'm just shaking it out. If the consistency of the kalakand if it came out good, it should be very easy for us to cut. As I mentioned, mine was little softer this time, but it tasted amazing actually. So as I mentioned, for this quantity, just keep stirring them for about 25 minutes. You will get perfect kalakand. So here it is. This will be the perfect sweet for Diwali with just one day left. And it's very easy, as I mentioned, it's very, very easy. If someone wants to make homemade sweet, and you can give it a try tomorrow, and it will be all ready for the Diwali day, that's Monday. So I cut them into pieces and I kept them in the serving platter. So here it is. I always like to serve kalakand like an individual in the small muffin cup, or the paper cups that what we use for muffins. I always like to serve it in them. So that way we don't need a separate utensils or the plates for that. So this is how I always serve kalakand. Here it is. Hope you all like this recipe. It's a very easy recipe, as I mentioned, and if you're someone who's yet to make sweets for Diwali, you can give it a try. We still have a day left for Diwali, and I wish you all a very happy and pleasant and safe Diwali. If you're someone who has not subscribed my channel and have been watching frequently, please do subscribe, and friends who watch the video, please give a thumbs up. That really motivates me and helps my channel grow. Thank you very much. I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.